So today we are doing book club. We're doing our book reviews, and first of all, let me just say, I am having serious allergies. I did yard work 2 days ago because it was like 70 degrees out, and I want to itch my eyes out of my skull right now. But today we are reviewing the books that we read for March. We had Craven Manor, which was a spooky fiction book, and 168 hours, I think it was 168 hours, which was a time management book. And if you're new here to book club, don't worry, you didn't miss April. April's book of the month options will be coming up here. I think by the end of this week is when I'm planning on putting it out. So yeah. But today we're reviewing the books from this month. I was gonna do a cook and review a book kind of video, but I just did a cooking video. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just have a cocktail or adult beverage or any sort of beverage and chill out, and we can talk about the books. Also, some of you mentioned possibly going live, which I've thought about. I might end up doing it the last day of every month. Let me know if that works for you. Maybe not every time, but maybe next time, I don't know. A few of the times, or we could try it out and see how it works. I just don't know. Do you like live? For me, when I see like live pop up on Instagram, I'm like, and I accidentally click it, I'm like, get out, like what? No. I just definitely don't want to be like, I'm going live, and everyone's like, oh God, not again, like kind of thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, I'm going to open myself a beverage. You know, okay, after that cooking video, I am now into this whole rosé cider thing. I can't get enough now, so I have another rosé cider. I'm gonna open, and I'm gonna sip on it, and we're gonna chat about books. It's good. Okay, that one's good. That one's the Crispin one, in case you're wondering. And this one has like a cute little pink can. So I'm feeling extra trendy today. Ooh, that's good. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, we're reviewing a book. Oh, we're reviewing books. That's what we're doing today. Well, let's start with Craven Manor because I've been dying to talk about it. I'm gonna go into my notes here on my phone. All right, so first of all, the book was about, if you haven't read it yet, or you did read it and we want a little recap, it was basically about this guy who gets a job as the groundskeeper at this big old spooky house. And all these things start happening that are mysterious and unusual, and this whole story unfolds. Basically, it's an amazing story if you love any sort of spooky castle, ghost story. It's a little bit scary, it's a little bit magical. It's really all of the things that I love in a scary story. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It may not be the scariest thing. So if you're looking for the super scary, gory situation, it wasn't horrifying, but it was really good, like a good old-fashioned spooky story. So I'm gonna get into spoilers. So I'm gonna give you a second. If you haven't read the book yet and you just wanted to know whether or not it was worth the read, I definitely think it is. If you read 168 hours and you didn't read this book, you can skip ahead. I will have the timestamp down in the description, or I might put it right here. But either way, you can skip forward, go ahead and either skip ahead to the next book, or I'll give you a second here to go ahead and click out of the screen or whatever, and I'll just take a little sip of my beverage as we wait. Okay. So now we're gonna get into spoilers for Craven Manor. So I don't know about you, but I feel like this was the perfect month for this book. And maybe it's because it's coming at the perfect time where I'm really feeling like I needed a spooky story. Like I am craving Halloween already, especially with everything going on. I'm like, oh, could it just be here already? Although I'm kind of glad it's not, because this cannot be happening while we're Halloween decor hunting, and we all know it. Although I'm gonna be so broke by that time, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. The dollar store is gonna be my friend. All right, anyways, now we're off track. So now on to the spoilers. I have some notes here. Okay, first of all, let me just read my basic notes. These are gonna be pretty random. I'm just gonna fire them off. Feel free to fire off your random thoughts down in the comments, just like, I thought this, whatever. Or you can go more in depth with it if you wanna do a full on type of review. All right, so first of all, I'm gonna fire off these thoughts, then I'll return to each one and we can chat about them. A, Kyle is a huge a-hole. B, Bran, I kept trying to call him Bran throughout the whole thing until he said it was like a cereal, and I was like, it's Bran? Bran is the most forgiving non-human in existence, is what I said. And C, I want the older lady neighbor to be my grandma. I couldn't remember what her name was, but the neighbor lady, I wanted her to be my grandma. Okay, number one, let's go back to Kyle being a huge a-hole, because I cannot get over it. I was so mad. Like I felt like Kyle was a real person. I was genuinely mad. Like I went to sleep and I was like, I'm so mad at Kyle right now. And I'm like, girl, he's not even real. But to me, like I was just so angry about it. I knew he stole that coin. Raise your hand if you knew he stole that coin, because I definitely, like, there was no doubt in my mind he stole the coin. Guy is a huge a-hole this whole time, and Daniel has to be the most forgiving person ever. But what about Bran being the most forgiving person ever? I know he was trying to teach this whole lesson about, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's never really that important to basically hold a grudge, you know what I mean? Or not forgive somebody, which I thought was a really cute lesson and all, but no way. That guy broke all of his rules and he acted like it was no big deal. Instead, Bran is still blaming himself for not telling you the whole story when he didn't owe that to you. Like, what? I just felt like that was the whole thing, but maybe I'm getting too serious on it. So I guess Bran was the most forgiving person ever. Also with Bran, I kind of knew early on, which you can tell me in the comments. I'll continue to ask some little questions here and there. Like, how early on did you suspect that animals had something to do with the owner of the, I want to say castle, but I think it was just a house. But to me, I'm like, it's a castle. Like, I felt like it was given away a little bit with the cat being Bran, but I think when he first walked into the house and the cat with the amber eyes looking at him and the way the cat was, there was something about it that I was like, this cat is somebody. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't very discreet, I guess, in my opinion. I just wasn't that surprised. What I was surprised though about was that Bran was also like a shapeshifter or a skinwalker. That was really interesting. I loved that whole aspect of the shapeshifter. Also, I really loved the whole ghost story aspect with the little sister playing and frolicking, and thought that was kind of the fun part of the book. So I like that mix of fun and spooky. She reminded me a lot of Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter. If you've read Harry Potter, I don't know why. In my mind, when the little girl was playing in the woods, I was picturing her. I don't know why. But anyways, so my favorite part of the whole book, I don't know, might be when he went to the neighbor, like the old woman's, like the neighbor's house, and talked to her. First of all, I thought she was the cutest thing ever. But second of all, I loved that whole part of the story, that whole mystery where he was finding out the backstory. I'm a sucker for a backstory. So he's finding out the backstory, which we find out wasn't true. Then he goes and tries to find the abandoned town. The whole walking through the town and seeing what happened, all the gross black slime or whatever it was all over it was so interesting. I was really excited about that part. All right, so then maybe I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. If I am, let me know in the comments and we'll totally chat it up and go back and forth if I'm missing anything here. But because I feel like I probably am missing a huge important part. All right, I feel like we should just talk about the whole ending in general. All right, so the ending I thought was really good, which it could have gone any way. Especially with everything going on in this book. I was like, how are they gonna tie it all together? How is it gonna work out? I was a little skeptical. But it really, that was the surprising part, was the ending for me. First of all, the brawl between Kyle and Daniel. Kyle, once again, is a huge a-hole. Second of all, when the house caught on fire, I about cried. I was like, it's never gonna be the same. And then when Daniel ended up outside and he was like, Kyle might still be inside burning up and in flames. I was like, that guy is definitely, he lit the fire. He's definitely not in flames. He's gonna come back out. But I also didn't expect for Daniel, his amulet or whatever, I did not expect it to be missing. That was a huge surprise for me. When it was gone, I knew Kyle had it, but I didn't know where he had it. Like, I didn't think he was actually wearing it or had it in his pocket. I figured he would have thrown it in a bag with all the things he was stealing or whatever. When the big old monster ate him and he died, I did not expect her, the monster, whatever her name was, I already can't remember her name. Dang it, I should have written all this down. Anyway, at this point, she's a big old monster, spreading the plague. I did not expect her to die right there in front of him and to start, like, because she was starting to go out and get stronger, and he's like, wait, she's not getting stronger, she's getting weaker, she's dying. I thought that was such a good ending. I was really excited about that ending because I didn't actually see it coming, but I really liked the ending because I thought the very end was kind of that end, like a Beetlejuice ending where it's like kind of happy-go-lucky, funny, like so I thought it was a really good ending. And yeah, Kyle was an a-hole till the very end. So R.I.P. Kyle, but also you're an a-hole. But anyways, those are the kind of things that stood out to me. You can let me know down in the comments what you thought about the ending, what you were surprised by, what you thought was predictable, what maybe annoyed you, maybe your favorite parts. Leave that down in the comments. This one was maybe one of my favorites we've read in book club. So the next book we read was called 168 Hours, You Have More Time Than You Think by Laura Vanderkam. And this one was more about time management and how you have 168 hours in a week and how you want to manage that time and how you can have time for it all. What I will say is that I do think this book is worth reading, at least the first couple chapters. I thought the whole idea behind the 168 hours, how to track your time and how to navigate that time and break it up and how to get what you want out of it. I think I think those tips were really, really great. As the book kind of went on, I connected with it a little bit less, and I'll tell you why here in a minute, but it might be spoilers. So if you are in a space where you can delegate a lot of tasks then to pursue your passion, then I definitely think this book is for you. So if you are in a position where somebody can do your laundry or cook for you or whatever, then I do think that this is a really good book that would be helpful if you just don't know how, like which tasks to delegate or how much it's gonna cost or all that. I thought this was a really good, it gave some really good ideas. If you don't like spoilers or you didn't read it and don't want to talk about it, then I would go ahead and stop here. If you read it and you want to talk about it, you've been dying to talk about it, or maybe you're not dying to talk about it, you just want to. Let's talk about it. All right, what did you think about the book? Let's chat. Tell me what you thought about 168 Hours. Did you find it helpful? Was it groundbreaking? Was it relatable? Tell me what happened. Well, first of all, I listened to the book. So I feel like, I don't know if I would recommend, maybe I should have said this before the spoilers, but for some reason I feel like if we're here for book club, we're probably not here for the reviews. We know that I'm not that good at it. Okay, I'm really good at talking to the air, but when it comes to like actually reviewing things, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if I'd recommend listening to the book. I think somebody said that they were listening and reading. And tell me which one you liked better if you did that. Because I was listening as I was cutting down trees and working on my pantry and doing all these things. And the first couple chapters were so, like, I thought there was a lot of information there that was valuable to me. It wasn't rocket science for sure, but I liked the message and to make time for the things that you really care about that make you happy. And that you can make time for that. And I liked the idea of writing down everything you do in a day and doing it every time you go to the bathroom, which I thought was a really good idea because that's totally doable. You're in the bathroom, you're in a whole separate room, you're removed from your situation, so you can sit there and think about, like, write down, like, this is what I've done in the last couple hours or hour or whatever, depending on how much you pee. So I liked that idea because I can do that. That's doable. And I know I would be embarrassed by the amount of time that I waste, for sure. So I almost felt like the book could have ended there, if you want my honest opinion. There were a lot of really good tips in there. Like, I thought the whole story about Mrs. Myers and how things have changed for women and the family dynamic and everything. But some of the stuff, okay, when it started getting into delegating tasks, I wanted to take a positive aspect from it. But I wasn't connecting with the author in some of that. Maybe I was just distracted and didn't hear this part, but I didn't hear a whole lot of talk about delegating to people within the family or things that wouldn't cost money, I guess. And maybe it's just the times right now that I'm feeling a little sensitive or some sort of way about it because we're in a time where a lot of us are financially strapped or in a bind. Or don't have a job, or somebody in our family lost a job. I guess like a personal shopper and that kind of thing. I'm just right now, like, I'm not judging anyone for it. I just personally didn't connect to it. But I think the underlying message and the silver lining that I got from it, so I'm not going to take it to a negative place and be like, I can't afford that. What, are you crazy? But what I think she was saying, and I like this message, is that all of us can delegate in some way, and a lot of us are already doing it. So if you'll take a different route if this is busy, or you'll do this to save time over here so you can do this. So a lot of us are already delegating tasks. It's just about breaking down your time and the stuff or the things that are standing in your way from getting to where you need to go or pursuing your goals or your passion, those things can be delegated. Whatever that means, I think that's like kind of what she was saying. So I did appreciate that, but yeah, I don't know. There were some areas I had a hard time connecting. I don't know if I was the only one who felt that, but yeah. And another reason I feel like I wasn't connecting to the book as much, I have such a different personality type, I feel like, than the advice that was being given. A lot of the advice in the book I had seen in a marketing class that I took, you know, reach out to people, email people, bump elbows with people. But I feel like a lot of the message was very much directed towards extroverts, which I have no problem. I'm an ambivert. I can be an extrovert at times, and then I have to recharge. But what I will say is I'm not an extrovert enough to cold call people, cold email people. Like that's like my worst nightmare. So I feel like you can still do what you're passionate about and be good at it without social climbing. Like I don't see a lot of marketing information about connecting with just everyone or just people. It's always about like, oh, reach out to this high person higher up and see what they can offer you. And for me, I'm like, what about your people? Like whether they're friends or just anyone, like people you connect with or talk to. And to me, I feel like that's where the real power is like the people, you know, not the one person you can use to lift yourself up. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a little sappy and believing in the magic of connection with everybody, but I don't know. Anyways, maybe I'll write a book about it. Just kidding. Overall, I thought it was worth the read because the first couple chapters, and I'm definitely gonna be doing the whole 168 hours, like tracking it and seeing where I waste my time because I know there's a lot in there. Let me know if you did that already, if you filled out your hours and how it went and what you saw, maybe if you wanna share. If you don't wanna share that part, that's fine. But let me know if you did do it and if it has helped you because I'm definitely gonna try it, so. Anyways, so if I have to give final reviews for both books, I really hate giving like stars, like maybe we'll do 5. I don't know, should we do pumpkins since it's kind of a spooky book club, like 4 out of 5 pumpkins or whatever? If I had to rate Craven Manor, 5 out of 5 is really hard for me. Like that is like an impossible, absolute classic book. I really liked this one, but I would say like 4 out of 5 pumpkins. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good old-fashioned fun. Loved it. So I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. So for 168 hours, I'm gonna say 3 pumpkins out of 5 because it's not the best self-help book I've ever read, but the beginning part was really valuable and something that I'm definitely gonna be doing and I really, really, really liked. Love that whole idea, but the rest of it was a little bit just with all the stories and all of the people, and I didn't really relate to most of the stories, if we're being honest. Anyways, that is all I have to say about the books this month. Now that I've babbled on for 5,000 years, I hope you enjoyed the books this month. Let me know what you thought in the comments. You can rate them, all the things if you want to, or just mention anything that stood out to you or you liked, disliked about it. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey ghoul hey down in the comments because you know I love talking to you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys next time.